Hey, welcome back to the YouTube channel for UniTec Digital Media. Hope you're enjoying these hot seats. We have another Deloge mayoral hot seat here. And one of the people running for the mayor of Deloge in the April election is David Shaw. David, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate you coming on the hot seat today.
Thanks, Jason. I appreciate the opportunity.
No problem. Your good friend Susan Dix got this started.
Yeah.
She's a big fan of the videos, and she's like, oh, you ought to do David Shaw.
Susan and I will have words later about this.
Well, you know, after this, you could always sponsor Susan to be on the, I bet she'd be a hoot and a half, as they say.
No comment at this point.
Okay. So for this process, we're giving you 10 questions that are kind of our traditional hot seat questions, the fun ones. And then I'm going to ask 10 questions that are kind of specific to the mayoral position should you get elected. And we have done this with both of the young ladies that are running against you too. So everybody's got the exact same questions. We can compare notes afterwards and provide a nice little service to the voters and kind of teach the students about equal time and how that works too.
I understand. I just want to be upfront to let you know that my best answers always come about 10 minutes after the interview.
Yeah,
okay.
That's how it always goes.
Okay.
All right, we'll start you off with the easy ones. And this one I'm very interested to hear your response. Name a restaurant that is no longer in business that you wish was still around.
Dunk's.
Yeah?
Dunk's hamburger
was the
spot
place?
downtown Deloge. Absolutely. Dunk burgers. You couldn't beat them for 10 cents a piece. And they were wonderful.
10 cents for a Dunk's.
But a close second is the Busy Bee restaurant.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
long gone too.
That's great. What is your favorite board game?
Favorite board game? I guess that'd be Monopoly.
Always a popular choice. Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Strawberry.
Who was your favorite teacher in school? And you can say a couple if you want to, because it's kind of tough.
Les Rosenstengel was the primary one, my music instructor. But I think the one that was the most productive for me in my adult life was Carolyn Allers. She was the English teacher. She gave me an appreciation for speaking clearly and distinctly and understanding the English language better. And I owe a lot to Mrs. Allers.
That's great. Favorite subject in school?
Math.
Your least favorite subject in school?
Well, you said there wasn't going to be any tough questions here. My least favorite was probably biology.
Okay. Who would play you in the movie version of The Life of David Shaw?
Russell Crowe comes to mind because I look at his picture. It's like looking in the mirror, but
Right.
But I think Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe would be a good one. Okay. What is your all-time favorite television show?
All-time favorite television show, Hill Street Blues.
That's
It's
a
an
good
old TV New York police show drama. Is great.
What'd they say after they gave the assignments? Everybody be careful out there?
Just be careful out there.
Yeah. What is a talent that you have that maybe most people don't know about?
Well, a talent that I have, I can write. I can write documents. I can edit them. And matter of fact, I'm used as an editor for a recurring column that a friend of mine puts out in a newspaper. It's unknown that I do that, but that's okay.
Ooh, so you're like almost a ghost, not a ghost writer, but a ghost editor.
He does the hard work. I just critique it.
Okay, very good. If you were a sophomore in high school, getting ready to start your junior year next year, and you were coming to UniTec, what program would you select?
Oh, there's a lot of good ones here. I like construction. I think that the audiovisual is going to be pretty close to the top. Right.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And but there's just a lot of practical courses here that I think that would be beneficial to anybody, especially those folks that are wanting to make a solid living for the rest of their life. This is the place to get it.
Welders especially, those folks do very well.
Welders do very well.
Yeah. Okay, so now for the 10 mayorally related questions.
Well, I thought that's what the first 10.
Oh,
Go ahead.
okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Why did you decide to run for mayor?
Well, I've always been kind of civic oriented. I've always had a love of the city of Deloge in my heart. And I think I bring some talents that could could help the city. And I feel like it would be a shame not to try to do the best I can for the citizens.
List your top 2 qualifications for the job.
My top 2 qualifications would probably be my experience working with large numbers of people, and secondly, my education. That's given me a good background in finance and how to do budget preparation and follow contracts, things like that.
What is your favorite part of Deloge?
My favorite part of Deloge, boy, that's really a tough one because we've got a good police department, we've got a good fire department, and our public works guys. I guess if I had to narrow it down, it'd be the public works folks. You see them do so many things around the community that many people don't even recognize that they're doing. For example, I watched them do a trash pickup down in one of the alleys, and somebody had left a big mess. It wasn't in trash cans or anything like that. And all those guys jumped out of the truck, and they all picked up all that stuff that had been strewn around there. And nobody normally sees that kind of stuff. But when you see that kind of activity at that level, then you know that there's a good sense of responsibility for the citizens. I was impressed with that.
In your opinion, what department could use the most financial help?
Oh, I think back to Public Works.
Yeah.
We were able to get Proposition P, which helps the police and the fire department quite a bit. Public Works, we have storm drains we need to get repaired. We have streets that need to be repaved. We have curbing that needs to be installed, sidewalks that need to be installed. And all those are big ticket items that cost a lot of money. And we just have to be very careful and cautious about how we spend that money.
What experience do you have with budgets?
Well, I prepared a few budgets. I was on the finance committee at my church, and we prepared a budget. We changed the way we were forecasting our requirements on the individual departments to make it more inclusive to the managers of those areas. And we brought them into the process to help define how much money we could spend and how we could spend it prudently. And by bringing those folks in, they became part of the budget process and took ownership of it. I think that's what I like to do. Dan Bryan has done a great job in doing that in the past couple of years, and I think I'd like to continue that.
Name a program or a service you feel the city of Deloge might need.
Well, I looked at what Paravel has done, and Paravel has taken a very active role in bringing industry and good upscale housing into their community. I got to witness the city manager make a presentation to the Missouri Municipal League about that, and I think that there's some opportunities there that we can be a little more outreaching. We have a relatively small footprint in the state, so we got to be careful on how we use our real estate. But I think that development of good businesses would be a big benefit to everybody, because that makes wages, that generates taxes. It's good all around.
What is a change that you would be open to making in city government? Something different than what is done right now.
I'd have to think about that, because changes always have ramifications, and it's the unknown that pops up whenever you make a change. I'm a big believer that if it's not broke, don't fix it. But I also think that sometimes there is change needed. But I don't think I could answer a question like that without giving that some pretty serious thought, because first of all, if I win the election, I'll be held to what I'm saying here today, and I don't want to make a commitment that I can't back up.
Unless it's for strawberry ice cream, then you can totally live up to that, right?
Strawberry ice cream would be,
Okay.
I agree with you.
In your opinion, what is the best use of social media as far as like a city government goes?
Well, that's a two-edged sword. I think that it would be a good idea to have some sort of a recurring thing about what's going on in the city, not just of events that are going on, but a lot of people don't understand some of the requirements that we have as citizens to meet the zoning requirements. You know, I think one of my other candidates made a comment about trash pickup is only supposed to be, you know, you only have your trash cans out for so many hours before the pickup and all that kind of stuff. Those kind of public service announcements could be very beneficial. They got to be quick, they got to be precise, and they got to be accurate. And I think once you establish a routine of doing that, of communicating that out on social media, it could be beneficial to everybody, both government and the citizens.
How will you be accessible to residents? Like, what will you do as mayor to make sure that people can get in touch with you?
Well, of course, my cell phone is always available, and I put that out on my business cards. I put it out there now, and I do get calls at different times. I also would like to have definite hours in City Hall when I would be there, scattered throughout the week, to include some late afternoons or even early evening times. I'd see how that works. There's no point in being there if nobody's going to come see you, but I think that having some regular business hours makes you a little more available.
All right, last question for you. Let's say the Board of Aldermen are locked on a vote of charging residents for trash service, and you as mayor would have to break that tie. How would you do it?
Well, right now, I'm leaning toward not having another charge for trash services. I've been on record for that. You can make a strong case either way, but my view is this, that Deloge kind of leads the county in keeping our trash picked up, and it's a service that we give every week. If we stopped that and we started requiring people to pay for it, what will wind up happening, you'll have folks who will refuse to pay for it. You'll have other folks who will take and maybe dump somewhere on an abandoned property or on a vacant property, and that just creates all kinds of problems. So I think that's one of those cases where right now I would be leaning toward not having a separate fee for trash pickup. Now, you can make an argument the other way, and I have to be open to any suggestions if I win the election, but right now that's my position.
Great. You're off the hot seat, sir. How does it feel?
Much relieved.
Okay, good,
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, and like I say, in 10 minutes, my brilliant answers are really going to come
Right,
forward,
right.
you know.
Yeah, what was it, George Costanza that did that on Seinfeld? Like, he had the perfect retort, but he always thought about it like 15, 20
Yeah,
minutes later.
yeah.
Well, appreciate your time. Thanks for coming in, and make sure to get Susan Dix on here at some point. I think she'd be great.
Good idea.
That's David Shaw. He's running for mayor of Deloge, our latest guest here on the hot seat on the UniTec Digital Media YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe for more fun videos.